Hello modelers, today we're starting out with the Empire Strikes Back Star Destroyer. It's an MPC model, it's 15 inches long, and we're going to go step by step and build this thing. So I'm going to come back here in just a second. Now I've already started the kit. I put a coat of flat white on it because it comes in kind of a light gray, and then I went through and blacked out the underneath of the model, and the top of the model to stop light leaks, and then I went underneath the bottom of the model where the LEDs are going to lay. And I didn't black that out because I used reflective duct tape. I lay my LEDs right on that tape and point them at the windows. You know, I just kind of make a channel like LED, 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 and on the other side same. And it will light those windows perfectly, as we'll see at the end of this build. Now, already glued in the sections that will be the side windows, and I've already drilled out every window in the ship. Now I want to give you a little fast tip. You'll see this in some of my other videos, but you'll see this is the absolute best way that I have found to drill out windows in Star Trek ships, Star Wars, any ships, is you just, Harbor Freight and Tool has this little drill, and it's like 180 RPM, very slow. It won't melt the plastic as you're drilling. See, it just goes real slow, and you can just go zinc, 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 zinc. Prior to that, I was always using a pin vise and doing it by hand, and it would take me 3 to 4 or 5 times longer. It was just terrorizing how much time it would take. So it's made drilling out windows in starships a joy. Now, what I suggest is you get your flat paint on, and then you glue in some of the parts like that, those side window sections, and then I pre-assembled this top section, and I've already got it ready to lay my LEDs in and light all the windows on this. This will set on top of the ship, and then this will go on the back of the ship to create the tower, you know, and it goes like this, da, 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 like this, and then this piece goes in there, and so on. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I've already got these light blocked with my reflective tape so the lights don't shine through the walls and everything. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay in the LED and fiber optics, and when I come back I'll show you how I've laid them in to each section, and we'll kind of make like segments. It'll be like the rear segment will be all wired and the wires will hang out. This section, the bottom section, and we'll make it so the wires are just hanging there, and then we can twist them all together and attach them to our power source, and then we can look at the ship. I haven't built one of these for many years, but with Star Wars doing in the billions and us getting thousands of hits on this particular model, I decided we had to get a video of it, of the build and the finished product. So here we go. Next section will be seeing the lights laid in, and then I'll touch them to a power source and we can test how they look. And then the last section will be attaching the ship together and putting it on the display stand and admiring it. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, we have one of the top parts of the ship lit and wired. I'm going to show you a couple little tricks on this. Now, what I suggest to do is leave your battery case turned on and hooked to the first lead wire. And I started, let's see, I started here. And the reason for that is when you either strip the wire and glue it on with CA glue and zip kicker, a lot of guys don't like to solder, so you could just strip it, wrap it around the leads of the LED bulb, and you just put a little drop of glue on the positive negative where it's connected, hit it with zip kicker, dries immediately, and on to the next LED. Or you can solder as I did. Now, started with the first one, went to the next one, went to the next one, went to the next one, and just followed around. And now we have a piggy tail of positive negative hanging out the back. There they are. Okay, red block. And I drilled a little hole in the back of the Star Destroyer so I can feed that wire down to the main connections. You can see the hole I drilled there and there. One is for this top cap I just finished, and one is for the riser that holds up the command module. And that wiring will go up into there. I'll do that next, those two sections next, and then I'll show you them. And then always, when you get a section drilled out, wired and everything, go through and turn your lights off and look at it and see where you have light leaks. Where you have light leaks, just paint some heavy black paint on with a paintbrush. And if you do it on outside, heavy black and then white over it until you get the light locks corrected. Or light leaks corrected, sorry. Okay, now we're just going to turn the light off. There we go. And you can look at this top section. And you can see the windows are beautifully lit. But you can also see I have a light leak here, a long section of light leak. I've got a couple light leaks right there in the front. And I've got a light leak in the back. You know, there's a few around. What I use, but this is going to be beautiful. You can just see all the windows are just lit beautifully. And, you know, there's some glare there because I haven't put my window maker on there yet. I use Tester's Clear window maker, and that subdues that light so it doesn't look like a bulb shining through. It looks like a regular window. But a lot of guys use different things, but I got stuck on this Tester's contour putty, and it works beautifully as a light blocker. So I'll go around and fix all them little light leaks and then paint white over it to blend in, and that'll be done. And then the window maker, you can get that at anywhere, you know, any hobby store usually, and that works real good. But anyway, that first section's finished. You can see the lighting is going to be nice. So now I'll come back when I get the command module riser done and show you that. And eventually we'll start putting the ship together. Okay, modelers, I'm back. Now, we've got all the holes drilled. We've got all the fiber optics and all the wiring run. And what I like to do is wire everything, you know, like in sections. So I've got the rear engines display done. And how I did that, there's that blue in there. I taped over the backs of the engines and then filled them with blue resin. You can see that. Then I just wired them in unison, you know, like hot, all the way around. On the LEDs, the long prong is the positive. So put your reds on there. The short prong's the negative. So I just ran my negative positive all the way around and then left like a couple, you can see them here, longer, there they are, feeder wires. Then I taped off the connections so they wouldn't short out on other stuff. When you're doing your models, always put either some shrink tubing or some black electrical tape on each area that connects. That way, when you seal your ship up, you won't accidentally, touch a positive to a negative and short, everything out and the lights go out. I was fooling around with my photon blasters, and they kept staying on. They wouldn't shut off with my switch. I'm like, what in the heck? And all it was is I had this rear engine display laying on the body here, and it was kind of shorting out on something, so it was just leaving the photons full time. Now what I did is I put my battery case underneath the stand. I've got to give that another light coat of flat black. But I put the battery case underneath the stand. So there's the batteries. Then I just ran my wiring for my switch for the photon, or the blaster cannons, up along the leg of the stand that was supplied. And then I ran my main power, hot and cold, up along the leg, cut a hole through the ship, and popped it through there. And then I ran my main lighting that will light all the side windows all the way up and down. Same thing, method, just hot to cold, red to black. Come back and then make yourself a lead wire off both the red and black that you can connect to the engines and to the other parts of the ship. With your blaster weapons, you can just run reds to them. You don't need to run red and black to each one. Just run reds to them and then jumper off of them over to a black connection anywhere. Wherever you find a black connection near them, just kind of hook onto it and away you go. You're all set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the main lighting on, and then after I show you this, I'm going to seal up the ship and do the final pass-by on it. It's going to look really cool. Okay, there's our main lighting. That will light the windows up and down the sides of the ship. There's our top lighting. So I ran wires all inside of that. I've still got a little light blocking to do and a little painting to do, but it's pretty much done. And you can see the tower that's lit up. There's a little painting to do there. And I drilled a few holes in the side tower and put a couple LEDs in there for some light. But when it's all done, it's going to look really cool. So we're close. The Star Destroyer's ready to go after the Alliance. So that's that. There's a few globs of glue and stuff here and there I gotta knock off and touch up the paint. But then when you see the next part of the video, we'll shut the lights off so you can see the lighting in the dark. But you'll also see everything put together and all functioning. And then I've got my main switch here for main power down on the stand. Boom, it's off. Turn it on, and then I've got my little extra switch that's included in the kit for the blasters. Now the blasters, you can put them anywhere. I had them up here on the tower for a while underneath. I didn't really like that, so I watched the movie quite a few times. The first one where they're opening scene. Star Destroyers chasing them, and you can put them underneath, you can mix them around. I find if you put too many on, it looks kind of ridiculous, so we include 5 in the kit, and I'll show you what I did. When the ship is sealed together, one is in the bottom half of the hull, and it's right there in the end. I just kind of drilled a hole and puttied in around it and then ran the wiring to it and connected it to all the other blaster weapons. But you'll see them come on. I've still got to put some coloring on them. Right now there's a little green on that one, but most of them are just white yet. And I'll put a little green on them because watching the movie, the Star Destroyer was using had green, and the Alliance had a lot of red. But I really like how those look. We use them on our Enterprises and a lot of different ships for weaponry. They're really cool. And especially when you turn the lights off, they'll look really sharp. It really looks like a blaster display as it's chasing something. So anyway, that's it. You just you can always email us at the website Galactic Modeler if you have any questions. But it's pretty simple. The fiber optics, I ran some flashing ones in there. We're going to include them in the next kits now. We've always had just static, but I'm going to start including one flashing LED, because a lot of guys might want to put, like a little bit of a marker light on the ship. I ended up where I did, put a marker light on. But you'll see all that when it's, put all done. So, okay, I'm going to put it all together, and I'll be back. Well, guys, I finally got it glued together and all sealed up, and used my tester's molding putty to correct all the cracks. I got to tell you, when I put it together, it's not the easiest kit. There's a lot of seams that don't fit together, and you have gaps, so you got to use something to fill it in. But very happy with how it turned out, and we'll hit the lights here. Like I said, I mounted both micro switches on the stand. There we go. I'll turn the lights off here a little bit later. I still have some windows to fill in with that clear window maker. I like to use the testers. There's a whole bunch of varieties of it out there, but I've been using testers for years, and it's easy. It comes in a nice applicator. It's reasonably priced, and it's good. See, when you go by the windows, you can see them reflect like that, and when you use the window maker, that eliminates that. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I added a couple little strobing fiber optics on the ship. There's one here. There's one over there. Very tiny, and just for a little accent, something different. It's not studio correct. I don't think they had any flashing anything on any of the Star Destroyers, but I just thought it was kind of cool. We're going to include a slow flashing strobe in the kits now, just because some modelers might want to do it, and they might want to. Maybe they'll want to put some out on the edges or back in the engine area. You could be creative. That's what's fun about modeling. Unless you're going to shows and competitions and everything has to be exactly studio correct, but this, you can, if you're not doing that, you can do what you want to have fun. Yeah. So the engines, they turned out real cool. Like I said, I cut them out and backfilled them with blue resin. And I gotta say, that was when I glued the halves of the ship together, the two pie sections, this thing didn't fit, this rear engine section. So I had to cut and grind, and so be patient. Modeling isn't rocket science, but it's also not super easy sometimes. Sometimes kits don't fit together that well, and you just gotta take your time and say, well, yeah, maybe I'll leave this for tonight and come back tomorrow so I don't, throw it across the room. But, That's the challenge, and that's the reward, is when you make it through it without wanting to kill yourself. So, let's see here. There we go.